And there the Celtics earlier getting set to play. Welcome to 2K Sports for another edition of NBA basketball. This is Kevin Harlan along with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. Doris Burke will be reporting from the sidelines. Our starting lineup to look at the matchups here and who we'll see for our starting five for both teams. Rajon Rondo, of course, guys, with so much talent. What an arsenal he brings to the game.
Well, Rondo's one of the best defensive players in the league, guys, and it's because of those long arms. He has a 6'11" wingspan. He's incredibly fast, quick hands. So all he has to do is anticipate and just kind of get into the teeth of the offense, and you know he's going to force a lot of turnover.
And in general, he's just the little things are the big things kind of player. A fantastic rebounder for a guard who is good for a handful of triple-doubles a season and knows where to be in any given situation. I love his poise and confidence out there.
Boston playing for the home crowd again tonight. And back in action is Kemba Walker. They're more than happy. He is suited up and ready to go.
You know what, Kevin? It's quite cool for us to be here for his first game back. Now, I'll tell you something else. Any fears they had about his injury having ill effects on the team were swept aside pretty quickly when they began to play so well without him. They really didn't suffer in his absence very much at all.
No, but they sure are happy to have him back because I'm not sure how long that run would have lasted with his talent missing from this lineup. Now all of a sudden you've got him returning. You've got a team that already has some confidence. It's a pretty nice recipe for this team to go on a nice roll right now.
And here's Bradley after Michael Kidd-Gilchrist getting his three to go. Back to Bradley. Fires the three. It's rebounded by Kidd-Gilchrist. Jefferson with it. Over to the wing. And here's Walker outside. They get it back. Here's Kidd-Gilchrist. From outside, off the mark. On defense, Charlotte, first chance of the season for them to go up against this Celtics team.
Yeah, here we go. The first in what will be a three-game season series between these two this year.
Now here's Kidd-Gilchrist after the miss from Bradley. Henderson, no good.
I'll tell you what, you can shake your confidence missing wide-open shots like that.
Sullinger with a screen for Rondo. Makes it off the glass. And because of the odd number of games between them, guys, the one thing we know is that one of these teams will have bragging rights over the other at the end of the season.
Exactly, Kevin. And that makes tonight's game, I think, a little more interesting and intriguing. I mean, whoever wins this one will have a big advantage going into the next two.
Looking at the last game for the Charlotte Bobcats, it was a win against the Atlanta Hawks.
I thought the way they attacked the rim and got into the paint was phenomenal. It seemed like after a while, the defense just kind of waved the white flag.
That's exactly what will happen when a team continues to attack the goal and come away with layups. It demoralizes the defense. Boy, extremely opportunistic defense leading to those points there.
That dunk, Clark, coming within seconds of the steal.
Love the way they convert from defense to offense.
But that's what happens when you get all five guys on a string defensively ready to react and make a play.
Austin with the ball, following the score by Charlotte. And that one's good. Humphries has got his first bucket of the night.
Boy, he made a nice little bounce pass there. We call that the pocket pass, and he did it well.
Here's Morris. The shot's good on the assist by Walker. Walker's got 3 assists in the game.
A good open look, and he splashes home the three.
Walker against Rondo. Outside Bradley. Back to Rondo. It's Bradley on the wing. And he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline.
And a big improvement for Kemba Walker last season just because of his ability to be more efficient as a scorer. And a lot of that was just becoming more confident with his shot.
Now Green. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist missing from long range. Out of bounds, Celtics ball as Boston keeps possession.
That was an awfully risky pass, guys. Lucky it didn't wind up as a steal.
Well, it nearly did wind up as a steal, but no harm done in the end. They hang on to possession.
Now here's Bradley. Here's Rondo. Up top, Sullinger. 6 to shoot. Humphries dishes to Sullinger. Takes the assist and lays it in. Picked out the pass nicely. Sullinger's got his first points of the game. And for Walker, better shooting percentages, Clark, from every distance last season.
And you always love to see that kind of improvement, Kevin. By player efficiency rating, the 8th best point guard in the league. Now, I don't like to get too enamored with those numbers, but there's some substance to those.
And here's Rondo after the three-pointer from Morris. Another shot, and there's the layup off the bucket from Humphries. Humphries has got his second basket.
Guys, he's actually indefatigable. He never gives in, never gives up on a play, and that's what it takes to be a great offensive rebounder. You've got to be relentless.
Outside Rondo, pass to Bradley. Rondo kicks to Green. Back to Rondo. Celtics passing it around. No problems knocking that one down. Bradley's got his second bucket of the night.
It was almost like he was surprised.
Guys, I got a chance to hear what Steve Clifford was saying to his team. He talked mainly about the offense he wants to see them implement. And with all their emphasis on ball screens, you can expect them to be running a pick-and-roll offense for most of this game. Guys, we'll just have to watch how it plays out here in the first half. Kevin, back to you.
And thanks for that story, Doris. And for Bradley, a tremendous defender, and Steve able to defend either the one or the two.
Well, he's listed at 6'2", but he has incredibly long arms and quick feet. So he's strong enough to guard bigger players, but his best attribute is putting pressure on the ball. It's a nightmare just trying to bring the ball up the floor against Bradley.
One of the best on-ball defenders, wouldn't you say, in the NBA?
Yeah, no doubt.
The putback, and finished off by Sullinger.
You know, Kevin, he never gives up on a play. That's what I love about him. He just is one of those guys who will bring effort and energy the entire 48 minutes.
No question about it. I mean, when you talk about bruisers, that's his game. I mean, he's put that time in the weight room, and guess what? Now he's putting that strength and muscle to use.
Here's Crawford after the made shot from Zeller. Crawford kicks to Green. Green gets a screen from Sullinger, and Green gets it to go.
Very effective screen to set up the jumper. That was the key to that play.
Last game for Boston, they picked up the W against the Magic.
Well, Kevin, they constructed a perfect offensive game plan going into that game, and it was quickly apparent how powerless the defense was to stop them.
Powerless is a good way to put it, Steve. We're unlikely to see that many uncontested baskets again anytime soon.
It seems like they're finding an open lane to the hoop every time down. That's 5 buckets in a row for them in the paint.
Yeah, on the flip side, Steve, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior.
And that one's good by Henderson.
Just seems like they've given up far too many points from the three-point shot today. A lot of open looks out there.
I agree, Steve. The defensive rotations have been abysmal.
And that's out of bounds. Boston will retain possession. And a new group in for the Celtics.
Kelly Olynyk, Brandon Bass, Gerald Wallace, Courtney Lee.
Olynyk the pass to Lee. Right side, Lee. Crawford dishes to Bass. Out of bounds, Celtics ball as Boston keeps possession.
Celtics ball. 8 seconds.
And here is Lee. The offense coming free and easy as we wrap up the first quarter. Bobcats lead by 7. And back in a Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And what do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for Charlotte?
Now, they didn't waste any time getting into a groove out there. They're dialed in from long range.
They've been distributing the ball really well tonight, too. I mean, a decent number of assists so far for them.
Charlotte leading by 7.
Bobcats came out of the gates fast to start the season, won 7 of the first 12. Amazingly, that actually tied their win total from the previous season that had been shortened, and they set a record for a team matching the previous year's win total in the fewest games, but unfortunately it didn't last.
And now brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. On the court for the Celtics, we've got Wallace, Lee out there with Jordan Crawford. Then it's Olynyk, and it's Bass in at the 4 slot. The Bobcat shooting it as well as you're going to see, 67%. Well, Clark, as you said, that hot start would quickly vanish as those 7 wins would end up being an entire third of their total wins of the year. Steve, once the meat of the season came around, they just couldn't keep up.
Well, reality always sets in the NBA, Kevin. I mean, when you don't have enough talent, you might get off to a hot start, but it's all going to turn around, and that's exactly what happened with Charlotte. But look, they're getting better. I like some of their young players. They're competing. I think this team has a better future than people realize.
Here's Lee. Kemba Walker making his last shot. Out of bounds, Celtics ball as Boston keeps possession. Charlotte making a switch here. Jefferson's checked in. Second quarter, and we're just over a minute in. Lee kicks to Olynyk. Tipped away. Lee passes to Rondo. Just 5 on the clock to end the run. No good from Lee.
Boy, they're fortunate. Defense was taking a big chance leaving him that wide open behind the arc.
Here's Antetokounmpo. Hits the three-point bomb. Antetokounmpo's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Celtics trail by 18. So the Celtics called timeout. They're first.
Guys, the Celtics went from being a powerhouse in the East and middle of the pack last season, but they still protected their home court as well as anybody. Easy to find inspiration here with the parquet floor under your shoes and the banners hanging over top.
And the Bobcats with a new group in. Here are the top distributors from last season. These guys always seem to find the open man. Number 1, Rajon Rondo.
Well, he was the top dime dropper in the league. I mean, he led the league in assists, and his vision and his willingness to give up the ball made him the top dime dropper.
Now, here is Humphries. He's got 6, and he gets it to go. You do have to love the parquet floor here, as you said, Clark. Pride certainly a factor last season as the Celtics were able to finish, Steve, with a 27-13 record here at their home.
And even though the Celtics would end up just as the 7th seed in the East, you knew they would control their home floor just because of their veteran experience, their talent, their coaching. So they were really able to ride that home court into the playoffs.
And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Kevin, thank you. The Celtics, with the departure of Doc Rivers, going young at their head coaching position. They signed Butler University head coach Brad Stevens, 37 years of age. He may be young, but he's very accomplished. He won an NCAA Division I record, 166 games through his first 6 years at Butler, a winning percentage of over 77%. And the Celtics are believers in his ability. They gave him a 6-year contract. Guys, they're confident he is the one to lead this team into a new era.
They all rave about his work ethic. Thank you so much, Doris. And here's Rondo. Kemba Walker hitting his 3 to go. Here's Sullinger, and a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
You know, Jared Sullinger was one of the top prospects in the 2012 draft, but concerns about his back dropped him to the 21st pick by Boston, and you know those concerns were well founded. He ended up going under the knife in February after a back issue in Boston. He did play well though prior to that injury.
No good on the free throw. Well, back to Sullinger. He'd been playing pretty much all season in pain, showing a lot of grit and toughness, I thought, Clark, as the season wore on.
Yeah, Kevin, and the good news as his back recovers is that his game was never really based on his leaping ability. His game is low to the ground, based on savvy and skill. He's strong, powerful, and again, very skilled. So the recovery prognosis is good. And I think he's looking forward to a long and productive career. He's a really good basketball player.
Now here's Bradley. That is good.
Boy, they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing that ball into the paint. Smash mouth basketball.
Yeah, and it's a strategy that has served them well in this opening half, Clark.
No problems knocking that one down. Middleton's got 9.
That's now a dozen straight points coming off wide open three-pointers.
You know what it looks like to me out there, guys? I mean, it looks like All-Star Weekend out there. We know how much defense is played there. It's actually defense during the All-Star Weekend, no D.
Bobcats leading by 18. He dishes it to Walker. And again, Charlotte with the triple.
And if their last 5 makes, all have been from long range.
Yeah, and the defense has not done a good job of pressing in and denying. I mean, they're hanging back, playing on their heels. They're not being the aggressors here, and the offense is taking advantage of it.
And then Henderson with the dunk.
Boy, how's that for a quick possession?
Yeah, it sure was. I mean, he didn't waste any time getting down the court, did he?
Boston's got nothing but zeros from long range in the second quarter. 0 of 4. The feed now to Bradley. Back to Rondo. Now the pass to Sullinger. Jeff Green on the wing. 5 on the clock. And it's out of bounds. The Bobcats will take it the other way.
Now, severe lack of awareness on his part. He had no idea he was near the out-of-bounds line.
Zeller, he's checked in for the Bobcats. It's been all Bobcats. They lead by the biggest margin of the game, 23 points. They get the rebound and out of bounds as the Celtics gain possession.
Such a careless pass. You've got to keep your head in the game here.
Brooks checked in for Boston. The Celtics have gone 4 of 8 so far here in the second quarter. Bradley drives in Humphries, and that one's good. Humphries has got 4 points in the quarter.
Seems like they're on their heels every time defensively because the ball continues to go into the post.
Well, if they don't pick up the aggression, things are only going to get worse. This looks like a pregame shoot-around with all the threes they're allowing.
Yeah, I don't know, Clark. I think there might be even more defense in warm-ups. I mean, this is kind of embarrassing.
Now here's Bradley. He's got 6. And again, another basket there from Humphries. Humphries has got 12.
He had his head on the swivel and was able to pick out the pass and get the assist.
7-second difference, shot and game clock. And that one's good by Henderson.
And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the three-point line. That's 4 of the last 5. You got to run those guys off the line.
I agree, and the defense is practically giving them those shots, though.
Now here's Brooks. Back to Beaubois. And stolen by Zeller. It's stolen by Green. Here's Brooks. Drains the 19-footer. Brooks has got his first basket of the night. And so a pretty lopsided game through the first half. It's the Bobcats just dominating this one. And we'll have the start of the second half when we come back after the break. But right now, let's go over to Damon Bruce with the Sprint Halftime Show.
Now, presented by Sprint.
It's halftime, and I'm Damon Bruce, ready to bring you our halftime show. Charlotte up on top against the Celtics in Boston. They're off to a good start this season, playing with confidence. They've gotten some great minutes out of Gerald Henderson. His shooting percentage off the charts right now. He's got the magic touch from the field, no question about it. For the Celtics, though, in this one, plenty of work still to be done. They've got to do a better job protecting the ball and valuing each possession. They've not done that. Their turnover number's way too high through 2 quarters. Chris Humphries has been outstanding. We're at halftime, and still, he hasn't missed
What can you say? Gerald Henderson has been impressive here today.
And what was most impressive was that his decision-making and shot-taking was very disciplined and efficient. Really an excellent half.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Whether it's been from mid-range or in tight, he is taking only what the defense has given him, and he's not trying to do too much. I love the flow and rhythm he's playing with here.
And Charlotte looking at who they've got. Henderson and MKG will fill out the wings. Jefferson is out there with Markieff Morris. And it's Walker in at the point guard position. Now here's Rondo. And Sullinger kicks to Bradley. The three-pointer no good. Bobcats leading by 23. This one for three, and that's good for 3 points. Nice shot from Morris. Morris has got the first bucket of the third here for the Bobcats. Rondo against Walker. Sullinger dishes to Bradley. Here's the teardrop. Offensive rebound. Here's Humphries. And finally, that one's good. Humphries has got 14 points for the game.
And they get one to go now after missing their first 3 shots. Maybe this will kick them into gear.
Story came out about Chris Humphries last year that basketball wasn't his #1 sport as a kid. He was actually one of the best swimmers in the country as a youngster. But basketball's worked out just fine.
Now here's Rondo. Henderson defending, and the officials call the foul, reaching out and committing the intentional foul here, and his teammates are baffled.
Yeah, everybody's kind of looking at him like, what are you doing? I mean, I think he just lost track of the situation.
Now a timeout called by Boston. And Clark back to Humphries. He still holds the 10 and under record in the 50-meter and the 100-meter freestyle. Steve, I didn't know that.
Wouldn't you like to see Tim Duncan and Humphries swim against each other? You know, Duncan used to swim as well.
Right, yes.
Childhood.
Yes.
So I say we put him in the pool. Let's see who the better man is.
Zeller, he's checked in for Al Jefferson. Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Hey guys, well, Brad Stevens had some advice for the team over that last break. If what he talked about is a true indication, the pick and roll is going to be their go-to play from now on. He sees that as being their best option offensively. The next message he had for them was that they should be attacking the basket on offense. He felt very strongly that the defense they're up against is vulnerable down low. Well, they need to make something happen before the start of the fourth quarter, and maybe those changes will do the trick, Kevin.
And as always, Doris, thank you.
I think they've got to keep getting him the ball. When he's going like that, he's in a zone right now. Perfect from the field. You've got to continue to milk the hot hand.
And Kid Gilchrist gets it to go in.
They're going back to the three-point shot over and over and over.
That was the 9th straight point from behind the arc, Clark. It feels like they're finding the holes in this defense.
Now here's Green, and so it looks like the Celtics will retain possession here.
And an opportunity to check out some stats on Gerald Henderson. Last season's stats for him, he put up about 15 points a game, 3 rebounds and 2 assists. The points have been coming for him at a prodigious rate, and that's exactly what they depend on, his scoring ability and his drive.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he is, a driven player, Steve, someone who can take an opposing defense and just shatter it with his ability. I think that play sort of sums up what we've seen throughout, just simply being outplayed both sides of the ball. Smart basketball defensively turning into quick points.
And that's not going to be able to continue if they hope to get back into this game, Clark. It's a deflating play for your morale.
And the Bobcats call time here.
You know, one of the worst things to see is a young, speedy, dynamic point guard go down with a torn ACL.
The Bobcats making a change here. Middleton's checked in.
Well, let's take a look at where Boston ended up, Kevin, last year in the league rankings. 6th in shooting percentage, 6th in free throw percentage, and they were top 10 in opponent field goal percentage. That's a good indicator of a team getting it done defensively.
And you talked about the shooting in the top 10 in the league in terms of field goal percentage. And that really bodes well when you're a team that's trying to play together. I thought this team was really well coached. They worked the ball offensively to find good shots. And for most of the season, they look like one of the best shooting teams in the league to me.
Well, that ACL tear for Rondo and Derrick Rose, both of them on pretty innocuous motions. No contact to speak of. Moves they make 100 times a game, Steve, but both got caught.
Yeah, that's often the way that injury happens, though, without contact. So, difficult year for Rondo. Hard to say, how he could have avoided an injury. That's not happening. The main thing is just fighting to get back, get your knee right, and get going again.
Walker the pass to Morris. Back to Walker. Drills it from outside. Walker's got 5 points now this quarter.
Those are starting to add up. Of their last 5 baskets, 3 of them have been three-pointers.
And it's not just great offense, Clark. The defense is really lacking. Not enough energy on their closeout.
And he commits the intentional foul.
I'm not sure what he was thinking about there. That's a strange foul.
Second team foul.
Who knows? Maybe he just wanted to take a break for a minute.
Gerald Wallace, he's checked in for the Celtics. .157 left in the third quarter of the game. And Sullinger kicks to Green, and he uses the glass on the layup. Green's got his second basket of the game.
Crisp pass into the paint.
They're going to turn it over. They couldn't get it in bounds that time. Here's the list of players who had the most steals in the NBA last season. 5th best, Kemba Walker.
There's no luck involved in being amongst the league leaders in steals. You've got to combine the toughness with the ability to move your feet and the tenacity in going after the ball.
Green dishes to Crawford. Doubled by Henderson. Crawford with the ball. Now guarded by Henderson. Here's Green. And he banks in the layup. Green's got 6.
Steve Clifford has 13 years of experience as an NBA assistant coach with stops in New York, Houston, Orlando, and Los Angeles, and now as the new coach in Charlotte. I think he's the guy that's going to do well there.
And another three-pointer to their second half total.
Yeah, they caught that long-range bug at halftime, and it's been bombs away ever since.
Now here's Rondo. 6 points for him. Sullinger passes to Wallace. Rondo against Walker. Crawford outside. Kept alive by Boston. And Sullinger kicks to Crawford. Rondo dishes to Sullinger. And it's good, coming on the assist by Rajon Rondo. Rondo's got 5 assists tonight. And Clifford, the 6th head coach in the Bobcats' 10-year history, Steve.
Well, he's a defensive-minded coach, a Jeff Van Gundy clone, someone who worked for Van Gundy in Houston, but has always been highly regarded around the league. I think he's going to make a good impact in Charlotte.
And here's Rondo after the made shot from Zeller. Nice shot by Rondo.
They've been getting it inside at every opportunity and getting results, too.
It's a great formula, and it's really a sign that the offense is clicking.
Morris, no good.
Well, in the rebounding game, at least, it's been a strong physical performance for them.
But it has to translate, Clark. If they're going to cut into this lead, they've got to convert those boards into points.
Now Rondo. Crawford outside. Count the bucket. Crawford's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Here's Morris. And no good trying to get that one. And here at the end of the third quarter, it's a double-digit ball game. It's the Bobcats. They lead by 18. And we'll be back with you right after this.
The NBA season blasts off. Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks take on LeBron James and the Miami Heat this Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
And a chance right now to show you our State Farm assist of the game.
Well, today it comes from one of the men in the middle, Kevin. And let me tell you, anytime you get a big man who can pass like this, it really changes the way you can play offense, diversifies your offensive attack.
Let me ask you, who is the best passing big man you played with?
Luke Longley.
Ah, the Australian.
Yes. Big redhead, good passer down on the low block.
Former #1 pick by the Minnesota Timberwolves. Celtics trail by 18. Inside at Sullinger and Humphries. Bradley is out there with Lee. And it's Brooks in at the 3 slot. That's the Boston 5. Good on the shot. And that's 15 points now in the game for Walker. Let's look at the energy stats, how the hustle game has been going for the Bobcats.
Boy, defensively, they've played with a high energy level, guys, and all the steals we've seen, really a result of that aggressiveness.
Another factor here tonight has been the amount of points they've scored off turnovers.
What an impossible shot to block in the post. The defender, giving up so much size, there's no way he's going to get a hand on him.
Poke loose. The Celtics shooting 61% from the field, showing some marvelous touch out there. Bradley against Walker. Just 5 to shoot. There's the double team with Walker. 18 feet out. Not enough on that one as it misses.
That's one he knows he should have made.
Here's Jefferson. Again, the Bobcats score.
His shot's been pretty accurate today, but he has not had his usual share of opportunities.
And the Celtics with possession here. They'll be playing host to Portland for their next game. That game will conclude a 3-game homestand.
And I'm going to look forward to seeing how that Portland game turns out for sure. How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any agenda.
It's hard to overstate all the points they've scored on assists today. Beautiful to watch.
Charlotte calls timeout.
We saw the promise last season, Jared Sullinger, a wide body with a really high basketball IQ, just very skilled as a passer and a low post scorer.
For the Bobcats, Markieff Morris is checked in for Josh McRoberts. Chris Middleton comes in for Antetokounmpo, and it's Henderson for Kid Gilchrist. And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Hey guys, I got a chance to hear what Steve Clifford was saying to his team. He said they need to start attacking in the open court. He doesn't want to see them operating in a strictly half-court offense. He wants their tempo to become more of a weapon. Gentlemen, some late-game adjustments that could prove crucial in the game's closing moments. Kevin, over to you.
Thanks, Doris. Count the bucket. And for Jared Sullinger, he may have slipped in the draft, but a great situation, Clark, a lot of people feel for him in Boston.
Could not agree more. I tell you, playing alongside Kevin Garnett, played for Doc Rivers in his first year. I mean, you're going to learn a lot from those two about how to play in the NBA. I think he's ahead of his years as far as his basketball acumen. He's what we call an old head. Really has a nice understanding of the game. It's been a real difficult game for him offensively, and it's costly.
Here's Morris. Second shot opportunity, and that one's good by Henderson.
They have to box out better than that. I mean, that putback is just another example of the difference between these two teams today.
Humphrey sets a pick for Lee. Left side, Bradley. Trains it from beyond the arc.
They didn't get a chance to knock one down in the first, but the defense left him a look, and he nailed it. He'll make them pay when he's open.
Fires for 3. Offensive rebound. Shot's good by Jefferson. Jefferson's got 4 points now in the quarter.
4 of their last 5 makes came off of a high-quality shot inside.
Yeah, that's textbook basketball. Just having their
here. Walker against Rondo. Sullinger with the bucket.
They've gotten some good second chances here in the second half, and that kind of extra effort will go a long way into cutting into this deficit.
And for Al Jefferson, still yet to make an all-star game, somewhat surprising, but it seems like all the time, Steve, he's often in that conversation.
And he should be. He's a top-tier big man. Ever since his arrival in this league, he's been really good on the low block. Strong and good score, but never quite good enough to get into that all-star game. That's a shot that he sometimes struggles with, but you can't fault him for taking it when the defense backs off like that. That was not pretty there. You got to make that one, but maybe that's not his range.
Here's Bradley. Bobcats with the rebound.
In this quarter, he's really been off the mark. He just looks a little bit unsettled.
Walker the pass to Morris. Here's Henderson. No good on the triple. Boston's gotten just 1 of 4 3-pointers to go down for them here in the fourth.
Broke out the finger roll, guys. That was kind of a stylish finish.
Bobcats leading by 23. Outside, Kid Gilchrist. And the miss, not the best shot selection there.
Even though he isn't having the best of games from the floor, it hasn't seemed to hurt him.
Rondo kicks to Green. Here's Bradley. Off target with his 3.
He's going to play his way right onto the bench and out of the game if he continues to shoot it like he has so far in this quarter.
And guys, with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who's watched it. I mean, just a total mismatch in a true show of strength for the Bobcats.
I agree, Steve, and this is a game where the defense, Clark Steele specifically, generating a lot of opportunities.
And it created extra possessions for him too, Kevin. Scoring opportunities they cashed in on, and that effort, a big part of what will be a nice victory tonight.
And so with this win, they'll move to 6 victories on the season.
And you always like to jump on your opponent early in a season series. This is just the first of 3 between these two teams, but a good win to go up 1-0 on the year against the Celtics.
Fantastic show put on. What an amazing game all around it was for Kemba Walker. And a big part of their success was his ability to keep the ball moving and finding guys when they would flash open.
Morris with the bucket.
Boy, they're extending their lead. It kind of feels like they're just piling on here as we come to an end.
Well, hey, let's just call it what it is. They are trying to run it up on them.
Now here's Bradley. Up top, Walker. Guarded by Bradley, and he gets the bucket.
Well, the fans already heading for the exits, clearly not pleased with the way their home team played here today.
And they shouldn't be pleased. I mean, it's a very well-deserved win, Steve. They came into this building and weren't intimidated at all. They were the aggressors.
And so they choose to intentionally foul.
I'm not sure what he was thinking about there. That's a strange foul.
Personal foul. First team foul.
Who knows? Maybe he just wanted to take a break for a minute.
So a whole new group on the floor now for Charlotte. About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Wallace misses. Charlotte's gotten 8 shots off from three-point land and hit half of them. Releases. And Charlotte again with the bucket.
Well, that puts the nail in the coffin.
A clinic in terms of how to play with the lead right there.
Bobois outside. There's a good screen. Off target. So no problem for Charlotte as they get the win. Clark, every team has a bad night, and these guys might want to watch the tape of this game the next time they have a bad night to remind themselves how dominant they can be.
Well, this is one of those dream-like games for a coach.
And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Well, Gerald, this team seemed intent on winning and setting the pace of this game from early on. Was that a primary focus to dictate tempo?
I mean, that's a key for us to come out from the beginning. We usually have pretty good first quarters. Our problem's been just sustaining it. So, we did that tonight, and, thankfully we won.
Congratulations, Gerald. Guys, over to you.
Thank you, Doris. And, folks, that about concludes our broadcast tonight. For Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching as we leave you with our Jordan Player of the Game.